and didn't get booed, and we did it, and then not a lot of people can say they've done that. Now it's fortunate that everybody gets that opportunity. But back then, it was scrutinized. Like, who are these people? What are you doing here? We were in Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
We did it, and we were accepted, and it was good. And Soul Train, it was fun, and I didn't even realize that video was on YouTube. I don't even have a copy of it, so it was great for me. I mean, I've got to, and be enlightened by other people finding stuff and saying stuff, things that I forgot or I didn't even have, so it's cool.
And I believe in the conversation we had prior to this interview, you had told me that many moons ago you guys performed at UNCG, believe it or not.
We sure did. I still have my sweatshirt. I have my sweatshirt. They actually, that was one of the best shows we did, and one of the most, we were greeted so well. I mean, like, from the time we got there, they picked us up. They had, we arrived at the college. They greeted us. We had like I think it was a lunch, and they had sweatshirts for us and everything. And we rocked outside in the field, and it was cool. It was really cool.
Well, that's the South for you, though, with that Southern hospitality. Can't beat that with a stick.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
And what was those meetings in the record label like, when choosing cuts for the album, and you guys probably had some say-so, Hiram had some say-so, but at the end of the day, Cassandra pretty much had to co-sign on what was going to go on the album.
Oh, yeah. We recorded so many songs that we didn't even use. I mean, so many songs. I've still got, like, cassette tapes of stuff that I was like, oh, wow. I remember they thought this was going to go on the album, and we would record some, and then you'd think that this was going to be on it, or we would all get excited, oh, yeah, this one, and then you'd record some more, and you'd find out that one got tanked, and then it was going to be these other ones, and then you got to the bigger producers and the bigger system, you'd be like, oh, wow, this is it. I mean, but ultimately the first single was picked by Cassandra and Hiram and all of us. We actually agreed at the same time that was going to be, like, our signature song.
Yeah, so what were some of your other favorite cuts off the album?
Oh, man. I like the Ooh song. I got a little rough edge to me. I was always the rebel in the group. So the Ooh song to me was kind of nitty-gritty. It was my favorite, of course. But people who didn't get a chance to really hear the album, it was really, really a good album. I mean, like, it was well put together. We had really good producers, and it's a shame that we've never really, like, released anything after that. Well, we did, but we didn't have a video, but that it all kind of just fell apart.
Okay.
Or you could get that sound.
So you guys were recording the sophomore album, but then it got shelved?
Well, we did our first single, and it went top 10, R&B in Billboard, and we did the whole Urban Network. And what the record company wanted us to do was they were hoping that we were going to cross over. They wanted us to cross over in mainstream. We were supposed to go to Europe and hit the white market, quote unquote, and it didn't. Because of the tours that we were going on, we didn't get to reach that. We didn't get to MTV. We didn't get to, those venues where we could be seen like that. And so the record company at that time, budgets were tight. You don't get paid like you do now, and you don't have as much say-so. It's very, very different back then than it is today. And so they spent a lot of money on our record, and when they decided after the first single and where it was that they were going to release a second one, but they weren't going to do a video to it. So they did release a second single on a cassette, but we never did a video. And then by that time, there was just so much controversy and so much things that we still don't know to this day that were going on inside the record company and management that, I can't even answer for you what happened. So it kind of it halted everything at that point.
And people, that's the dark side of the business. You only see the good side, but when it comes to contracts and other inner workings, they don't tell you that stuff. So know that stuff if you want to get in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's different now. People are, they go to school, they're musicians, they're artists, they write, they want to know what's going on. We did not have that opportunity. We were all new at it. We were all thrown together. We were all excited. We just went for it. Whatever you said, it was like, okay, we're there. We'll sing this. It was great, but we didn't really get involved like people do nowadays. So you really need to. If you're an artist or you're a writer, you need to be very involved with picking your songs, writing them, who's listening. You want to be at the table at these meetings and like that back in the day. A lot of people, the producers, and I still know people from that back in the day, we're all in the same boat now, you know, because we didn't have that opportunity. Things were done for us, and we weren't as involved as we wanted to, so it's different.
In other words, be like Prince and control your stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I could go back in time, yes.
Yep. Yeah, because, you know, Prince, you know, he doesn't play that. I mean, if his stuff is on YouTube, it'll go down in 1 millisecond. I mean, you really have to be like that in the business, because if you don't know anything, you can be taken advantage of. It happened to Backstreet Boys, happened to NSYNC, and we can go down the list.
Yeah, TLC, look at them. You know, everybody went bankrupt. There's drama. You have to pay attention to what you're signing and what's going on and percentages and your involvement. I mean, because you could be a superstar, but if you did not write on that album, if you did not participate, if you don't have your name on those credits, if there are no points allotted to you, then really you're just a pay date. And you know, you hope that you're big and that you get a check, but you don't get anything really on the back end unless you merchandise or roll off into something else. You have to be involved like that nowadays.
And Johnny Wright said this in Backstreet Boys Behind the Music, that artists are always the last to get paid. Everybody else is going to get their cut, and the artist's going to get it last after everybody's been divvied up.
Oh, yeah, especially if you're in a group, too. I mean, you know, you do a venue and you think, oh, wow, we're going to get $10,000 for this appearance, but we've got 5 members in this group, so, and a guest appearance, because we had one of the songs we did, we used a 6th person who was kind of like a hype man, so he had to get paid. So at the end of the day, you got this check for this small amount, and you're like, wow, okay, that was great. You know, you got to take a lot of pictures, and you got to ride in the limousine, and you signed some autographs, and it was wonderful. But behind the scenes, they don't know. You know, it's not like it seems. It really isn't.
And to me, I think John was ahead of the curve in terms of the whole pop R&B thing, because, you know, you had you guys and Jeremy Jordan, because when I got the Try My Love album, I was skeptical because I thought it was going to be your typical cheesy teen pop album, but I was wrong. Heavy Hitters, it had a R&B pop kind of feel, and it was kind of like well ahead of its time in terms of the content, and it kind of sounded like something Justin Timberlake would have put out if he was that age during that period.
Exactly.
So did you ever hang out with Jeremy, or was that right after you guys were like...
That was after us. We were in the whole Color Me Bad, Crisscross, TLC. We were in that whole little area. It was, and our family was Jade and Color Me Bad. We were all on the same label, but funny enough, we never really did a show together, so...
Well, now, do you have any fashion moments from that period that you regret? You look at old pictures and you're like, why did I wear that?
Oh, yeah, all the time. We had a stylist at one point that they tried to bring in that actually literally drew and tried to design these outfits for us, and they made them. I don't know what they did, made them on a sewing machine or whatever, but we wore them for, like, small venues, and we look back and we're like, what is that? Like, who approved this? Like, we were told to wear it. I mean, everybody's sizes were different, so it was like, but some of it, I mean, the style was good back in the day. I like the whole ties and shirt things and the sagging shorts and the boots and the knee pads and stuff. That was all cool. But some of the stuff I look at them and the hair, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, because with the tie and the shirt look, it kind of reminded me of the look that Boyz II Men had when they first came out. That whole Alexander Vanderpool look.
You have to understand, yeah, we had the same, you're talking about at that time, the choreographers were the same, the hot guy for the videos was the same ones doing those people, the stylists were the same ones that were working on projects like that. So what they did is they just took it and sprinkled it around all the artists that were coming up and they were, you know, contracted to, and so we all had this similar feel. It was just this whole kind of look and feel and sound, and we were all part of the same little wave, so how it went down.
Right, and what was your opinion on the whole late 90s, early 2000s teen pop phenomenon with Backstreet, NSYNC, Christina, Britney, and what Max Martin and Dennis Pop was doing over in Sweden by listening to American R&B, but just making it more pop accessible?
Well, my first thing was I think that we were before our time, and if we would have been pushed forward, we would have risen just like them. Like they had different opportunities and the Britney Spears and the Spice Girls and all these people, like, though that now everybody shines.